Yeah, very tight coverage. And again, one-on-one, CeeDee Lamb, Carlton Davis, two of the best in the league. And again,
Achilles heel, if you will, for Cam Taylor-Britt. These little stop routes have been giving him problems.
Here it is. You see him. He just trips up, loses his footing.
Got Keenan Allen a little bit more involved this week. 2 touchdowns.
Tackle lining up as a wideout. How's that route?
I know. I like the twitch. Okay, he's got a little more. St. Brown, one-on-one.
Just coverage. They needed to do it more, but Zay Flowers with all that space inside, it's going to be a really...
Well, that's a good route by Allen Lazard coming off the ball against Russell Douglas. He gets him going one way and comes underneath.
Well, watch Diggs. He's just going to go up a little stick to the outside on Gonzalez. Accurate throw by CJ as he goes.
Tie and kick the field goal. Well, initially he's going to try to work to the back.
That's 10 yards and another first down.
And what'll be interesting is watching who matches up with Bowers during this game.
Able to get out and around. They saw the one-on-one coverage, but that time Taylor-Britt up to it. And
well, Hollins has more field to work with. If he flattens this off a little bit, he creates some separation. Instead, he stays vertical just enough.
Are going to throw the ball when you get all the guys up in there. The free safety in the back of the field, Jim, is the guy that you'll see come into the screen for often.
yeah, you could tell that when Malik Neighbors went out that he went right to Darius Slayton, who had a huge game a week ago in that one against Seattle.
8-21.
How does he get guys so open? Well, he's got a lot of time in the pocket to sort it out. They just don't have the...
Downs is going to work in and then out. That time on Brownlee. And again...
Shifts and motions, except this time, they just quick snap him. Catch Dallas, not asleep, but not prepared. And he's just got two...
Nick Sirianni raved about Jalen Hurts in the offseason, being able to finally identify blitzes.
Out with the concussion. Watch this release. Just spins Funderburk in a circle.
4th and 7. And Brian Callahan is going to punt.
Yep.
Watch him give him this inside move like he's going to go to the slant little right there and then back to the outside. Gino locked in on him.
And just a little bit of a wobble coming back.
This is such good technique. Look at how he stays square. He doesn't fall for the outside move. He stays perfectly
corner from Maryland, 4th round pick last year.
You remember last year. You talked about it last night when we got together.
Look at the route all the way across the field. Finding the dead spot.
Paulson Adebo, watch when he comes out here. He turns his back inside. He says, I'm not giving you a slant. That way he's just playing one route.
A little bumping around. This man coverage on the outside has been interesting to watch all night.
There's a lot of traffic here in the middle of the field. Again, they're trying to stay with them in man. Ferguson falls down. And so one thing about
Excellent job by the guys up front. 5-man pressure. They're man-to-man across the board.
With Stingley.
End of it, though, you've got to actually play the ball. You'll see right here. They've been knocking. Yep, he actually turns his head. No help inside. Chin's got to cover the whole field, and it's just asking a lot. Andrews with a great route.
They put him in a bunch formation. He's going to attack and then come back to the football. Good job there at the top of that route.
You can actually keep their leverage. You cannot let them get outside of you. Your help is inside, and it's really just a poor job.
Doesn't get any better than that. And it looked like Snead, the technique that he's playing. It looked like... boy, he had the touchdown.
It looked... Colt catch for Turner. As he goes downfield, 5'9", 205 pounds. Porter taller, lengthier. Here comes Minkah Fitzpatrick, the all-pro center fielder. And he...
Route. Take a look at Amari Cooper and watch the route that he runs. He's going up against Ringo. Ringo opens him up to what's supposed to be nickel help or safety.
in their secondary. Man coverage. Get up there in critical situations. Get sticky on your man. Draft you in.
Because Riley Moss is in ideal position.
Yes.
Gets his head around, sees the ball, but gets pulled down a little bit.
And you could see Brian Daboll going, oh, man, I thought I had this one here. Little double move, turns around Turner, but able to recover with his great speed.
For Deontay Johnson, that was the target.
now breathing, and Darius Slayton getting hot here in the second half. And once again,
it up here, and Josh Allen knows he's got to get the ball out. Now, Keon Coleman, you know, these are kind of the plays that he's accustomed to. He doesn't have.
So a pure double team. Safety over the top. You can't see him in the picture here. But then as Joe Burrow started to scramble.
And the Bills back on top. Well, watch the route. Mac Hollins comes off the line of scrimmage. And, yeah, Ashton Davis, he almost stumbles and falls down. Wasn't a whole lot to the relief in press coverage. His ability. I'm just not sure how Allen Lazard catches this ball. I mean, there really was nowhere to put it. And he has to throw it more of a back shoulder, throw it behind Bernard. And Lazard, wow. I mean, right off the hip of Terrell Bernard.
What do you say about Joe Burrow? He's going to escape out here, but this throw is so hard. Moving to his left, and you could tell the Giants had in the back.
He puts a move on Terrell Bernard right there in order to give him a shot, but he knows he's going to get hit.
Bengals since T. Higgins came back from that hamstring injury. But what happens, Mike, is everybody has to pay.
Snap has just been all over the field tonight.
For a second and able to reel it back in, but he generally catches passes like great rebounders.
Wow. Great call by one official overruling the other. That is a touchdown.
Pass, fourth down. That's a touchdown in my book. He gets both feet down.
Look at Drake London. He's going to fake the fade and then kind of pirouette back inside. I don't know if this was supposed to be a slant or not, but I love what he did. He got to the catch point. Pressure Kirk Cousins. You better get to him because a guy like Kyle Pitts is just waiting for him. Said, I'm sorry for quitting on your last drive. But Mike Jackson fights to the finish, rips up.
Toss it to Montgomery, back to St. Brown, back to Goff. Too much to handle, and Laporta makes a great catch.
Ball to me, guys, the knee's down here, and he's reaching, as we see, with the left hand. Now this ball is loose. I don't think he has control yet.
Well, he's just going to run a corner route from the outside and hold the corner underneath with Coker on.
Love what I see with Branch, just a playmaker. They love him making plays, blitzing, tackling, playing nickel, playing safety. Coverage, Trevon Diggs on Williams, and again, that little vertical stem, I loved when the receivers would give me that.
Out at the end by Deontay Johnson, and he's going to come back, right? Normal comeback route. Well, he feels the defender and just
the opportunities to make plays. Now, this is really good coverage by Riley Moss. Turning, running, doesn't panic once again. Really good job of Gilman. He comes down from his safety position. And just look at the technique right there. Reaches, has him wrapped up on that left arm to make the tackle just in case he misses.
I don't know what Xavier Woods is doing right here, but he lets Pitts go right by him. Him or Horn have to go deep third on that.
But again, you could see it from up here, right? Good release on Vildor, who played a lot last year for him. And Tolbert's just looking clean pocket. It's got Patrick down the field on Orukware. Hooker just can't get down there fast enough. So, again, zone coverage, you need a pass rush. They don't quite.
With a fake to Keenan Allen on the left, a fake to Swift on the right. You see the linebackers not knowing where to go. Kmet just sneaks down the middle. Great route by Keenan Allen to save space on the sideline.
Play action pass, and then here's St. Brown across. There's no one even on him.
On the edge, trying to take a shot down the field. Andy Dalton didn't have the time. He knew it was one-on-one coverage.
Edwards knocked the ball out, and it is going to be a fumble.
Horn should have had this all the way. Oh, his pops is shaking his head right now. He got a good jump.
Yeah, a little crossing route. Pretty simple. There's multiple guys open. They had Laporte open. Easy throw and catch. It's got to be tighter coverage than that.
Mike linebackers covering down the middle, and the outside linebacker reads the eyes of the quarterback. He's trying to put it on the outsiders. And you mentioned it, they needed this one big time. Well, Keenan Allen is underneath, and he draws the attention on the choice route. Great read by Caleb, To see that
really turned into the premier outside defender in this Bucs secondary. We see a lot of guys around the league struggle.
Why the Eagles fans are booing, right? You just had good defense, right? The Browns are a good defensive team. The stats may say otherwise, and it's only because they've been on the field for so long, but this is good coverage.
How about the pressure that the Raiders put on them? Coming from Patrick Graham, the defensive coordinator.
Inbounds, and this is just a great job of game planning, a great job of matching up, getting down.
If you're Pittsburgh, you're Arthur Smith, you're Mike Tomlin and crew, you're not trying to run it up on Las Vegas. You're trying to take care of your guy.
Straight man coverage. Great route underneath by Godwin on the slant. Tell you what, I'm not sure if he missed the tackle, if he just ran him over. Stiff arms him right in the chest. Picks. All right, so I think Paulson Adebo, this looks like zone. So I think Baker Mayfield just gets tricked. He sees Willie Gay go out to the flat. He thinks he's going to be able to throw it there off his ear, and they play too high, and they match man.
Just talking about not giving up those big plays. Martin Emerson, he's on an island with A.J. Brown. Has his hand in there, but A.J. Brown is so strong. Look at that, and Jim Schwartz said it. His strength is his strength, and you see it on display right there where they're so happy to have him back. You have a 5-man rush by the Cleveland Browns. They're all going, and now you have man coverage, and this is a great crossing route. You pick off Greg Newsome, and there's nobody there to stop. Man, A.J. Brown, so good at tracking the football. A little bit, you notice that he's not lined up on Lane Johnson right now.
And makes either first downs or touchdowns better than Chris Godwin. Here they send him on a little jet motion, and he's just a check down. That's against the linebacker, Willie Gay. That's got to be a 2-yard gain, but instead he's physical. He's got his burst back. We mentioned he looked back to himself after that bad knee injury.
If he doesn't launch it and get rid of it, he gives Blackman too much time.
Gardner Johnson, remember, he started his career as a nickel corner, so he is very used to being in coverage. It's easy for all the defenders to sit back. It's cover 2. Quinyon Mitchell
They've got to really pass all this off. You'll see the communication here at the top. They're saying, you got him, in and in, out, out, out. Mike Evans is open. That ball just needs to be.
Man, that looked like really good coverage. Denzel Ward leads the NFL in passes defense. Oh, he starts to yank on Devontae Smith's left shoulder. I like he plays through his hands, gets that ball out, but if they're going to call.
Just incredible, and Snead is all over him. Did he? It looks like he caught.
Making his presence felt, and you know, you don't usually see Denzel Ward miss a tackle, opens up, press bail, breaks on it.
They've become way too familiar with this season.
Exactly, and Deshaun Watson is thinking that Amari Cooper is going to keep going. Amari Cooper.
Play action. Paulson Adebo's worked in the slot. Just a great route by Mike Evans.
Who really kind of popped on his. Even Kenny Clark said, listen, man, we're doing OTAs, and this guy jumped out to everybody. Like, wow, this guy could be good this season. Christian Watson right there on the inside. Budda Baker, he has no help to that side of the field, and he opens up that way. And you're
backing the football. Watch as he presses it deep, pushes into the secondary, and then Watson comes back. If he doesn't come back and make that friendly, that ball's going to get knocked.
Bosa, what a job here by this rookie of stepping in front. He's out there on an island against one of the best in the NFL.
Of McBride here in the last few minutes.
Careful what you wish for, right? Nice little move right there on Quay Walker. Working against number 21, Garrett Williams, and great protection by the guys up front, kind of showing that back.
Great job here to utilizing both these receiver. Ayuk on the outside takes the corner with him. Safety gets overlaid, takes a chance right there by trying to almost missed him when he was trying to go either for the football or trying to hit.
They're minus one of their top backs in Rick Woolen, so he is the guy taking his spot. He makes the big play here.
I tell you, that's a heck of a play. Great job of communicating.
This is a heck of a throw. Watch how Jordan Love drops this one in. Over the top of Chris Barnes. He's got a defender coming across.
Seibert for a field goal attempt.
Look at his foot right at the end. He just barely slips.
Passes, the rookie.
Well, the Texans weren't sitting there. They were bringing pressure. Petrie came off the left side. You could see the safety.
if Lamar Jackson is real, and Zay Flowers is having a game, Jim, almost 100 yards already.
So here's Michael Wilson right there, and then let Jair Alexander. It's awful soft. You bring pressure there, and Sean Murphy-Bunting is he's got to be able to find that football.
He smoked him off the line. It's an incredible route, and what a catch. He wanted to throw it a little sooner. And
longest pass play of the afternoon, 28.
You said it. This was a great adjustment at halftime.
This is second of the day.
So they call it the stem. He's going to come off, and he's going to look like he's going to break to the outside.
I want you to watch at the bottom here, Jim. This is where he's going to go. He's got the whole field to come across because all these guys in here are blocking. And that's a really tough challenge to go against Zay Flowers and give him the whole field. But you have to play those coverage.
Hawk territory, the ball at the 29-yard line.
Just a little hesitation. Corner clears out with Samuel, and nobody picks up the big fella, 85, to the ball. But if DK Metcalf slows his body down and comes back to the football, you have to be in much better position to try to.
This is going to be a block 'em up play and a two-man route downfield with a couple checkdowns in the flat, but Lamar does
the New England D.
There is good coverage, but what happens is you have to have, and you see Diggs open there right around the 10-yard line. You have to have time. New England tries to dial up pressure and get to Stroud. They're not able to get there in time with man-to-man coverage. Diggs lined up in the slot, just an out route.
Lenore has got a great attitude. He loves to be challenged one-on-one with Jackson Smith and Jigba. Ball is thrown just a little bit late, and that's why.
Well, this is a great catch by Dell, sliding in the back of the end zone. Good location of the pass. The only place he could put it.
Little brother on brother here. The Melton brothers going head-to-head.
There you go. That's unbelievable. Just the ability to make plays, right? It really comes down to that. You've got to make the plays. Michael Wilson coming off a really nice game last week against San Francisco. That rapport with quarterback and wide receiver. Marvin Harrison is not a rookie receiver. I mean, he's wide. Going to come out of the slot right here. And you get the one-on-one because you've got that blitz pressure. But you did have, I think it was Joe.
Hold there on that left side of this defense. Great footwork by Smith and Jigba.
Purdy off 4 times, but a different story tonight so far.
Yeah, different personnel, different story. The timing of that throw on that outcut. One of the things about him early in his career, used his hands well. Now lately, it seems like he uses his body.